Hey, it's Rabbi Shmuel, Pollen. Hope you're all doing well. This is not a topic that I want this channel to really be about, but I've seen a lot of comments.
Hey dude, I'm doing fine. See, I could have said your mum there, but I controlled myself, and people say I'm not a serious channel for grown-ups. Anyway, you're doing something you don't want to do because comments. Mate, never do what the comments want. They'll end up taking all of your whiskey.
About what I'm doing, and I think I need to explain myself.
Yeah, you do, and I cannot believe you would so brazenly ignore the traditions of your people. If you're gonna make a stupid video that ends up on the Sir Sick channel, I'm pretty sure you are supposed to be driving a car. What is this? Some kind of room for living in? Madness.
And I want to explain how atheists actually lose every argument that they start.
Wow, okay, that's sure. But in my experience, atheists don't really start arguments. If an atheist is in a field, he's not holding up a sign saying, God, I'm not real, change my mind. Most, if not all the arguments I have ever seen an atheist have come after whatever theist makes a claim of. If you make a claim, you are in general going to be arguing for that claim. And that's where an atheist might pop up in my experience. I think this guy is confused by the how do you know someone's an atheist meme. You know, don't worry, they'll tell you. Yeah, they might after you say something wildly and obviously untrue, or you try to get them to participate in some asinine ritual or whatever. Yeah, it must be so hard for the religious to ever hear a group of people exist. Fuck me, right?
And that is because the atheist position is that there is no God.
Oh dear, I'm going to have to take away 7 points for that blunder. Actually, no, the general atheist position is that people don't believe. It has been established by countless atheists who argue against theism and has been done for absolutely years now. If you don't know that, the idea that you have seen one atheist lose an argument, well, it loses all credibility. What a shame. It's so rare for theists to be completely full of shit like that.
So that's a negative.
While in general you can't really prove a negative, I mean you can in like logic, but for things actually existing tends to hold. And even if we ignore your there is no God atheist and go with the I do not believe there is a God type of atheist, you know, like all of them, which is still that thing currently doesn't exist to me and thus is negative enough. You know what else you can't prove? The existence of supernatural beings. Because they're supernatural. Like, oh, I don't know, what's his name? It's on the tip of my God. You can't prove God. Because as an idea, the type of God that you are likely talking about is unfalsifiable. So an unprovable negative and an unprovable positive. Why caring about whether or not you can actually prove this shit seems like a bit of a waste of time. How about we just argue to convince each other of things and learn more? Eh? No, obviously not. It's all about winning.
And if somebody comes along and brings an argument that there is a God, there must be a God, or there could be a God.
I love it. You open with atheists start all these arguments, and your first example is someone else starting in favor of God. Almost like that's essentially how it always works. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some dipshit atheists who just burst into churches and are all like, haha, there's no God, suckers, as hilarious as that would be. But even at that point, the church still kind of argues God's existence by, being there. So
the atheist has to completely eliminate that argument.
I don't have to do anything, actually. I can sit here, scratching my ass and throwing bowling balls into passing traffic, if I like, and I do, and that has no effect on whether or not I believe in any gods. And if I was listening to your whatever argument, what I can do is listen to it and decide if I find it convincing or not. And I can also choose to tear it into tiny little shreds and throw it into the air like so much confetti. Let's do that one.
They have to completely invalidate the argument, they have to completely debunk the argument, because if they don't,
then God suddenly starts existing. That's how it works, right? If someone can't, or more likely cannot be bothered, to argue against the really, really silly thing you said, then that means that you're right by default. That's why I keep shouting the facts about reality that I want to be true into this bucket. If no one can hear me say it, they can't refute it. Therefore, yep, all dead. Hooray!
And the reason that God exists stands, in that case, the theist has won the debate.
Okay, whoop-de-fuck whackity-do. That's important to you, isn't it? I mean, you do understand that just because you apparently won a debate against someone, that doesn't make you correct. You know that, right? And just because you might be a better debater doesn't mean your grasp on reality is superior. Also, I am 100% convinced I would probably suck at live debates. Mostly because I'm completely fucking uninterested in them. Or being good at them even. And yet, I would bet, even if you beat me in doing a debate, you wouldn't be able to convince me of your point in said live setting. Because as a rule, I don't change my mind on the spot. I tend to spend time mulling over points and actually looking into yours and other ideas to see how they stack up to each other. That's why I think that this kind of format is so much better, in my correct opinion. You can pause the video and actually consider things instead of trying to pull a refutation out of your asshole.
It's simple. If you're trying to prove a negative and somebody brings you a positive, why God should exist.
Why God should exist? It sounds like even you don't believe in him.
Why God must exist, and there are many arguments in that category.
Wow, see, this is why you should write scripts, my dude. It means you aren't going to accidentally dumb. Instead, you'll on purpose all your dumbs. And that's, better. And sure, there are plenty of arguments. There could be a billion arguments, but that doesn't make any of them right. It just means that people really want God to do a reel. Well, I want this thing to do a reel, but that doesn't mean it do. Wait.
Like the prime mover argument, the intelligent design argument.
I mean, the prime mover argument is bad enough on its own, but intelligent design? Man, it's almost like people who think creationism is in any way convincing aren't exactly what I would call first-rate thinkers. What a shock that our boy here would bring it up as one of the first things he could quote-unquote think of.
The fine-tuning argument, the argument from Sinai, which I have brought to the fore.
And fine-tuning. Again, not a great point, but whatever. Now, the argument from Sinai, don't think I've ever heard it phrased like that before, but that's the place where Moses allegedly brought down some tablets with some rules on it, right? Dude, that's what we in the business call a myth. I mean, you can believe it's true all you want, but so much of it and its surrounding ideas are not exactly what I would call agreed upon historical facts. I mean, little to no archaeological evidence for many of the more specific to the Bible kinds of events. For some reason, so much of it doesn't align with other historical records from the time. And not to mention, the Bible's consistent inability to keep its stories, consistent. That's the kind of shit that's simply not going to convince any atheist of anything if they have an actual brain. And certainly not me, because I have several of them.
You don't have to be very smart to beat an atheist in an argument.
Well, isn't that just telling on yourself by accident? No, you don't have to be very smart to beat someone in any argument, really. In fact, stupid people are often excellent at winning arguments. You see, what they do is they repeat something else that someone else told them was true, and then not listen to a single word that anyone says that clearly and obviously demonstrates the faults in both the reality and logic of what they are saying. Never, ever concede a point, even if it's one that doesn't even affect your position, and eventually your opponent will be so physically, mentally, and emotionally drained they will just walk away from your dumb ass. At which point you declare victory. Or they don't walk away and the argument ends in a more natural way, and you still declare that you absolutely pwned them while having absorbed no new information about the topic or the person and or people you are arguing with. Why do you think theists keep using the same tired and completely bunk arguments since forever? They haven't been able to hear anything new since 1974 when God was invented.
You just have to make a solid case that there should be a God or could be a God, and you win the debate. And it's as simple as that.
Actually, no, it isn't. What are you talking about? What makes you think that the atheist isn't going to make a solid case that there is no need for a God, and all the current evidence apparently pointing to the God conclusion is sketchy at best? Just because you are convinced of your position and think it sounds pretty good doesn't mean that you automatically win every argument. I mean, you can be 100% right about something and get absolutely smoked in a debate. Debates aren't how we establish reality, my dude. It's just one of many tools to help people bash ideas together. I mean, Christ, sometimes both sides of a debate are completely wrong because not all things are dichotomies. Damn, it's like you don't know dick all about debate or ideas in general. What an absolute shonk.
I will not
have a coherent thought? No worries, buddy. You don't have to, according to your own rules. You don't have to know shit about what you are arguing to win it. You could replace yourself with a fucking parrot who just repeats sounds it hears with zero understanding of what it or its opponent are actually saying. And in your view, that's just as good. And it's not like an actual worthwhile debate leaves both parties with things to think about, maybe fresh insight into things they still hold to be true. Why would you want that? Only idiots have things to learn about the world, not like smart people who already know absolutely everything. That's how it works, right?
I will delete hateful comments, and I've been doing that.
Okay, but what exactly do you consider hateful? I mean, yeah, if someone throws around actual bigotry and says you're wrong because your physical characteristics, I can get that. F those guys and the waste of space they are on the near infinite internet. But if someone says, hey, that's wrong, and makes you sound like a bit of a fucking idiot, I mean, it's not nice, but in my opinion, it isn't hateful. I don't hate you. I think you're hilarious and you should keep it up. I love that shit.
Because this channel is not about atheism, and people are leaving comments about atheism on basically everything that I come out with.
That's weird. Really, really strange that you talk about hateful comments and then immediately say, oh, because my channel isn't about atheism. Does hateful to you mean person disagrees / refutes things you say? That's not hate. That's not even acerbic. That's just fucking criticism. And if you take that as a personal attack on you, well, frankly, that's just fucking pathetic. And again, calling you pathetic has nothing to do with whether or not I like or dislike you. It's just a fact if you can't take someone talking about something you don't want to hear.
And why would I want irrelevant comments on my videos?
Because it's good for YouTube videos, allegedly. Also, if people come to you and make comments about a topic that's related to what you are talking about, because, you know, I assume you talk about God stuff, atheism is inherently related to that. I'm sorry, but then that is relevant. Just because you don't want to hear it, you know, because you already know you are right and are incapable of ever conceding a point, just like a smart person, you have to actually bear in mind that the reason these comments are coming up is because you've done or said something that makes people feel the need to explain shit to you. Maybe if you actually listen to what they're saying, you might possibly understand that.
And furthermore, this channel is about love and unity.
Is it? Anyone who disagrees with me is hateful, and even an idiot can defeat those atheists because of how stupid they are. That's the thing about not understanding even the words out of your own mouth. What you say and what you think you are saying are often not the same thing. And it's why perhaps you need to take a step back and actually consider the idea that perhaps you aren't as smart as you think you are. I would say half as smart as you think you are, but I feel that's a bit generous, don't you?
And that's what I want this channel to be about. I don't want it to be a place of debate.
I could totally beat you all in a debate with my hands, legs, and brain tied behind my back. But I also don't want to debate any of you. I mean, you're allowed to not want to debate people, but when you claim to be able to defeat everyone who would dare to argue with you, and then you just delete it all, it makes you sound like you are completely and utterly full of shit in all regards, mate.
The whole idea of Judaism is the unity of God and the unity of the world with God. So my goal is to unite as many people as possible, not to have debates on my channel.
Not gonna lie, that really sounds like you're trying to start a cult there, buddy. All things must agree with me. All outside ideas are to be destroyed with great prejudice, because they are all wrong, and anyone exposing such ideas is a hateful piece of shit to make the world not unified under my one correct ideology. God damn it.
And just like I wouldn't want somebody to dump like a pile of manure on my front lawn.
Fucking hell. Atheism comments on his channel are akin to a giant pile of shit. This is the guy who's promoting peace, understanding, and unity across the globe. Except again with those shitty fucking atheists and their hateful ideology of not agreeing with absolutely everything I say. What a guy.
In the same way, I don't want a pile of hate on my channel, and I have a right to remove that manure, and I have a right to remove that hate.
Look, you have the right to remove whatever you want from your YouTube channel. But you know what you don't have the right to? Think that you're immune from criticism, because you are so goddamn soft. I mean, you can also call it what you want, but the rest of us know that you just don't want to ever actually hear things that might make you think you might possibly be wrong, because it will make you so sad.
For my channel, that's totally within my prerogative. Hate is ugly, and I don't want ugliness on my channel. I'm going to keep it that way, and I do not debate atheists anymore.
Ugly, hateful, shitty atheists. That's who you don't debate. That's what you're calling us, whether you think you mean to or not. That is what you are doing. And it's fucking astounding that you clearly seem to think that you are the one who's for any kind of fucking unity. Ironically enough, I think the only unity you have made happen is that, religious or not, everyone probably thinks you're a dumbass.
And not because I can't win. I do win every single time, as I just mentioned.
No, what I imagine happens is they make an argument against something stupid you said. You say the exact same thing that you always say without having put any fucking thought into it whatsoever, and then you delete their comment, and you go and tell your equally horrendously silly mates what a smart boy you are and how you have defeated infinity plus one atheist arguments. And the atheist, bewildered, goes about their life having lost ever more faith in the idea that there's any point in arguing with dipshit theists just like you.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel, Spoonstar Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the